It's Friday now. It's Saturday. Sunday. What? You cannot be shouting at people and being rude to people, but you're expecting that when it comes to you, they will just recognize that you need love and they would speak to you with a soft tone and they'll say, "Oh my darling, you just shouted at me and you just scolded me. I'm sure it's because you're going through a lot. And yes, I just want to tell you that I love you." There are people that will do that, right? But this cannot be an expectation that you have of your friends to give you something that you're not willing to give to them. And this does not mean that you would now give to them because you are expecting, because that can lead to a lot of disappointment. You are not kind because you want people to be kind to you. You are kind because that is who you are. You are not a nice person because you want people to be nice to you. You are nice because that is who you are. So in cases where you don't receive what you have put in, it does not change who you are. This is very important because oftentimes you see people becoming hardened in their hearts. You see people, just dissociating from friendships, or let's not even talk about dissociating from friendships, but you see people becoming a totally different person because of how people have treated them in the past. You are not who you are because you want someone to be that way to you, so that in the case that they are not that way, you decide that you change. It just speaks to the fact that that was not really you to begin with. If you are breaking because you are not receiving what you expect to be given, then it means you were never strong to begin with. You are who you are, or you do the things you do. You do the things you do because it is who you are. You don't do the things you do because you are expecting someone else to do it to you, right? Let's establish that first and foremost. However, what this verse is saying is that from our actions, we can motivate other people to also act in love. When we treat people kindly, we can show them through our actions to be kind as well. When we speak to people honorably, we can show them through those actions to be honorable to one another. When we are welcoming to people, we can show them through those actions to be welcoming to us as well. Now that we have established that, what are some of the things that you need to do if you are in a friendship that you just don't feel loved enough, or you don't feel like you have been treated rightly? The first thing I would say to you is forgive. Yes, you need to forgive your friends. Make allowances for forgiveness. Listen, you guys, no human being is perfect. Even you, in all your jollof rice state, you are not perfect. You have flaws and you make mistakes too. So entering into relationships and expecting that you would find perfection, or expecting that you would introduce something and this person would adjust into that perfect idea of the kind of friend that you want, is very unrealistic for the people that you are in relationships with. It's very unrealistic for your friends. Make room to forgive when these flaws come up, and these flaws will come up. The closer you get to a person, the more flaws you are able to see. It's like a microscope. The more you zoom in, the more elements you are able to capture. The closer you look, the more you see, right? In that same way, the closer you look at the people in your life, or the closer you get to the people in your life, the more flaws you are likely to see, the more details you are likely to pick up. And when those things happen, please be open to forgive. In the way that you would expect someone to forgive you when you make mistakes, in the way that you would expect someone to be kind to you when you miss it, in the way that you would expect someone to treat you nicely when you are not at your best. Please be open to showing that same kindness and to being forgiving to your friends. Be open to showing them forgiveness and restoring that friendship. You also don't have to forgive and cut people off all the time. Please be open to forgiveness, right? The next thing that I think would be important, even as the Lord has taught me, pray for your friends. Really, how many times have you mentioned your friends in prayer? All you think is when they are going through distress, when they say, oh, there's a medical emergency, oh, there is this financial need, oh, I have this really big problem, or something is going on in my family, my parents are this. You think that is when you should pray for them? No, prayer is a gift. And as the sweet, cool kid that you are, give gifts to your friend. Give prayer gifts to your friend. Pray for them. Pray for the things that you notice that they can work on. Pray for the areas of weakness that you have seen that they have. Pray for the things that they are trusting God for. Pray for the things that you know that are important to them. Pray for your heart posture towards your friends. Pray for them. Prayer goes a long way. Sometimes we spend more time complaining about our friends than actually praying for them. We spend more time complaining about how this friendship can be better and what can be done and why it is not this good and all of that, than actually praying concerning that relationship, than actually praying concerning that person. Pray for your friends, right? This is very key. The next thing I want to talk about is focus on the good. Remember that to the pure, all things are pure. If your focus is on the impurities, these are the things that you will continue to react to. If your focus in the friendships that you are in are the things that are wrong, the things that are not working well, the things that are bad, these are the things that you will continue to respond to. So you'll find yourself being angry because you've been focused on how many times this friend has not called you, or how many times they've called you, and how they don't text you. But if you find yourself focused on, oh, I just love how they give the best hugs, you'll find yourself being very welcoming to their presence. You'll find yourself being very excited, about the thought of seeing them. You will find yourself responding positively to the thought of them. What is something good that this person is doing? What is something good that this person has done? Whatever is good, whatever is pure, whatever is decent, whatever is excellent, fix your mind on these things. Let these be the things that you focus on, as against the things that needs to be worked on in this friendship, as against the things that are wrong in this place, right? The next thing I would say is communicate your hurts. Yes. Now, I have this thing where, please? I had this thing where I would get hurt by people, and because in times past, when I would communicate my hurt, the response would be me apologizing because, according to the people I would speak to, I just wasn't interpreting their actions right. So it was on me, and I was at fault for seeing that situation in that way. I became this person that did not want to talk about people hurting me, because I did not want to start apologizing to you about something that is hurting me. So I did this instead. I would internalize it. I would go to God and I would cry. I would be like, oh, look at what that person did to me. I was so kind to them and this is what they've done. And I would talk to God about it, but I would not talk to the person who has hurt me. And this would hurt, and it would take so much time for God to heal my heart and position me right again with regards to this person. And there would always be that thing at the back of my mind, like, let's be careful of this person. We're forgiving them, but let's be careful because this person can go wild. Remember what they did to us. So that thought was always at the back of my mind, regardless of me forgiving them, because I did not voice it. And then God started to do this thing to me. But I would go to him and say, God, this person hurt me and they made me feel this way. And he's like, go and tell them. I was like, no, let me talk to you instead. You know me well. You see me. Let me talk to you. You're the one I want to talk to. I don't want to talk to them. They don't understand me. They don't see me. And he's like, Elena, that's the name that God calls me. Go and talk to them. Go and tell them how they have made you feel and tell them how they hurt you. And be like, I didn't want to do that. Don't worry, I'm healed. Let's not talk to them. It's good. This thing that you have told me to go and talk to them, it has been very healing for me. Hallelujah, God. Thanks and bye. But yes, God was sending me back to them to communicate how they had made me feel. It has taken some time. It has taken me telling certain people that they have hurt me and them still saying, it's your fault. You did not understand what I was doing, so that's on you. And me now apologizing. That has still happened, right? But it has also made room for the people that God has surrounded me with to see me and to acknowledge the areas where they have gone wrong and to work on it. Now, again, this has not been 100%. It will not always go right that you tell people, oh, you hurt me this way, and they would, see where you're coming from, right? But as many as allow their hearts to be yielded to God, you would actually tell them, oh, you've hurt me in this way, and it gives room for them to own up to that mistake. It gives room for them to own up to that mistake. It gives room for them to work on that flaw. It gives room for them to do better at it, right? It gives room for people to grow. This is how you sharpen one another. That you are not just concealing the ways that they are making you feel, but that you are communicating it to them so that they can treat you better, so that they can even do better in the way that they treat other people. Again, the reaction to this particular step might vary, but it doesn't mean that you are wrong for communicating your hurt. It's also important, right, to communicate your hurt in a loving way. Remember that this person is not the enemy. This person is not the enemy. That's just it. Remember that this person is not the enemy. You're not coming to fight them and stab them for hurting you. You're coming to communicate how they have hurt you so that you both can build a better relationship. And in communicating this, ensure that you're doing so in a loving way, in a way that also sees them. You don't want to be stabbing someone else just because they stabbed you. Two wrongs don't make it right. Please communicate kindly. Please communicate your hurt in a way that is loving and that is honoring of the person that you are communicating this to, right? So yes, speak up. Don't bottle things inside. It just leaves room for a lot of bitterness and a lot of passive aggressiveness and a lot of bad behavior, and you don't want to become that person. Please speak up. Please communicate how a particular person has made you feel. Speak to them. The Bible even says that when someone hurts you in the body, speak to them about how they have hurt you. If they don't listen to you, take someone else with you and speak to them about that. If they don't listen to that person, take it to a larger scale and let them come and speak to this person. Now remember, it's not that you're gossiping about this person, like, oh, I just want to tell you that person be not very bad person, make I just tell you. No, it's not that you are doing that, but you are speaking to who you're speaking to so that they can accompany you in helping this person, or in mediating in this situation. They can see things from both your sides and mediate fairly in this situation, right? This is why this is important. But yes, take active steps in communicating the hurt that you have felt. The last thing that I would say concerning this is honor others as you honor yourself. This is very important because there are times actually where you are in relationships or where you are in friendships where you are not being treated kindly. The first thing in this sort of situation is to ensure that regardless of how you are being treated, you still show honor. Honor is basically seeing a person in the way that God sees them. You are not seeing them less than God sees them because of how they have treated you. You are not treating them less than God would treat them because of how they have treated you. Honor is esteeming a person in the way that God esteems them, in a way that is not connected to their actions or to what they have done, but it is connected to their identity as sons and daughters of God, right? Honor this person. The next thing that you need to do is honor yourself. There are actually times where you need to separate from certain places because of how you have been treated, right? But this should not be your first go-to where you are just cutting everybody off. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. But there are times where in honoring yourself, it would mean that you have to unplug from certain places so that you can give yourself the value that you carry. It would mean that you would have to unplug from certain situations so that you can walk in the consciousness of the one that you are. This does not mean that you are cutting them off or that you will no longer talk to them. Please, these are very, very different things. It just means that the proximity or the fondness or the bond that you have built with this person would be revisited. The bond that you have built with this person will be readdressed. Should I be giving this person access to my inner chamber when they have not honored the outer chamber that I have allowed them to stand in? But that is a proverb, so let me break that down. Should I place certain high expectations on this person when they have shown over time that they are not capable of handling those expectations, when they have shown over time that they would rather not be bothered with those responsibilities? It's like giving a car to a baby. It is not the fault of the child that they cannot drive. It is just where they are. And there are situations like that where you are in friendship where these people do not have the ability to love you in the way that you need to be loved. They don't have the ability to be kind to you in the way that you need to be taken care of or in the way that you need to be treated. This is not a case for battering and cutting off. This is rather a case for reassessing the sort of friendship that you have built with this person. It doesn't mean that I will no longer be friends with you. It just means that I will no longer give you as much access or as much expectation that I would normally give to you when I thought that you could handle this responsibility. It means I will take the car from the kid and wait for them to grow up before I gift them this car for them to ride. It means that I am not expecting a child that is probably 2 years old to bake a cake. I am waiting for them to grow up so that they can handle the responsibilities that come with baking that cake. It is in this sort of way that there are times where the friendships that you will be in would not meet the love need that you have. They would not give back the care or the love that you give to it. This is not you are a terrible person situation. This is you have not gotten to that place where you can handle this situation, and that is fine, right? Again, this should not be the first go-to. You really don't want to start a culture in your life where you are cutting people off. You really don't want to start a culture in your life where at the slightest flaw that a person shows to you, you're like, yeah, cut off. Where at the slightest issue that comes up between you and your friend, yeah, cut off. People are more important. People are more valuable than the problems that we have with them. Always look beyond the problem and see the person and place a higher value on the person than you do at being right or at being satisfied in your anger or at being satisfied for feeling at being satisfied for being treated unjust. And yes, I think that this is the message that God will have me bring to you today. Please don't forget to like this video, don't forget to share, and leave a comment and let me know what friendship has been like for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.